All right, in this video, we're going to be creating a garage, which is a smaller project. For those who have completed the living room, this is your next step in the process of creating a building design using Revit. So as we've done before, we're going to use an architectural template to start. All right, so according to, you've seen this handout before, so according to your handout, there was about 5 or 6 sheets that you had to it. But in Revit, um, you don't have to so much as worry about the amount of sheets as it is just laying out the design for the building. So this particular building is 22 feet square with a garage door and a side door. So it's not a whole lot to it in order to complete it. So it's going to be relatively small. So I'm going to zoom in order to do this. All right, so we're going to do generic firewall. To start out. And I'm just gonna start making walls, and I'm just gonna type in my numbers as I go along. So I'm just gonna do 22, enter, 22, enter, 22, enter, and I'm just gonna close it up. Now, that technique should relatively sound familiar because we used it when we were learning how to do AutoCAD, where you're doing direct distance entry. So it works across the platform with different programs using that same technique. All right, so our next step, we want to put in a garage door, and that might be something I have to upload to you. So I'm going to pause this real quick to make sure that we actually have it. All right, so I was able to manage to find it, which I'll be uploading it to your Google Drive. So we're gonna be loading the door, but since it's not in our usual place, if you download it, you have to go to downloads to actually pick it. So we're just gonna load family, and we're gonna go to our downloads. And we're gonna do open. And it's an older version, so it's gonna upgrade it. And we're gonna pick the wall that we're gonna put it on. So we have to kind of be careful which one of these we pick. So we're gonna pick the outside wall to make sure that this goes to the right place, because it is inset a little bit. And we're just gonna move it left to right to kind of even it out. All right. All right, so we're just gonna, I'll leave that alone. All right, so next we have our door, and we want to put in something a little bit more decorative than that one that came with it, or those generic doors. So we're just gonna load a new one, residential. And there was a garage door in here, but it just wasn't large enough. And I'm not sure if we was able to actually adjust that one. So we'll just move on. I think I'll choose one of these two here. And I'm gonna go with a 3680. Flip the door. Like so. All right, so let's go look at it so far. Add a little color. That looks pretty good. All right, so while we have it in this view, we're going to go ahead and design in 3D. We're going to go ahead and add a floor to it. So I'm just going to kind of tilt it where I can see all four corners. All right, so we're going to do architecture, floor. We're going to go with a generic. We'll go with generic 12 for right now. And it's going to be thinner than that. We're just going to edit the floor and make it concrete. And normally we can go around and select all the corners, but this door is going to kind of mess that up. So we're just going to use a rectangle. We're going to go from one corner to the next. And we're going to edit the type. Duplicate it. Rename it. And we're going to edit the structure of it. So it's not going to be a foot thick. So we're going to go with 6 inches. And we're going to use concrete. So we're going to click on the material tab. We're going to search. And we're going to use cast in place gray. And okay, okay again. And we're going to hit the check mark. And we'll click off to the side. So now you can see that it's actually concrete. You look at it from the top. You'll see that it's concrete. All right, so our next step, we're going to change our exterior walls here. And we're going to edit the type. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Edit type, duplicate. And we're going to call it garage wall. All right, so we're not going to do a whole lot of fanciness to this. We're going to add one layer to the exterior. So we're just going to insert. And this layer right here is going to change. So it's no longer going to be a structure. It's going to be a finish. All right. And we're going to change this to wood. And we're going to use clad white. Pattern is going to be wood finish. Let's see, appearance. We'll take a look at that. So we're just going to do our pattern. We're going to change our pattern to, we're going to change the vertical just to see what it does. All right, hit OK. And we're going to change our thickness to 1 inch. It's going to kind of make up for the wall sheathing and everything else that we didn't put in. All right, so for this layer, this is going to be a stud layer. And since we did that, we're going to go ahead and make this 4. Hit OK, hit OK again. And we'll take a look at it, see what it looks like. If it's flipped to the wrong side, then we will know it. All right, so it's a little bit wider than the rest of the walls. And it didn't seem to pick up the pattern too well, so let's see why it didn't. I don't think that we didn't put it in both places. Yeah, we didn't. We should have put it in. That was a cut pattern that I changed. It wasn't the pattern that went on the wall. Okay. There we go. That's what it should look like. So hopefully it'll stick around. There we go. All right, so now we're not going to do that for all 4 walls. What we're going to do is simply use the modify tool. And we're going to match it. So we're going to pick our host. And we're just simply going to pick the other walls. I don't seem to be sticking here. There we go. So they got all 4 walls. All right, so that changed our walls. So we'll put it back in our home view here. I'll even turn our shadows on. So when we take a look at this in our elevation views, and the shadow's not going to show up when I have a roof. But we're going to change that in just a moment. So that'll be our next video that will be go ahead and add the roof to it. And then after that, we'll do the sheets and then we'll be done.